right, take it away.
Yeah, okay, as people are streaming in, welcome to today's webinar, where Jin will be walking you through some of his thoughts and ideas for a specific currency for each day. So on Monday, he will talk about Aussie and New Zealand. Tuesday, he will talk about Euro. Wednesday, Pound. Thursday, Yen and Gold. And today, we'll be talking about CAD and oil. So before we start the session, do help me answer this poll so that we know, is it your first time here? Yeah, just launched the poll. Yep. Do help me answer the poll so that we know how to frame the session.
I think we're going to have 100% non-first time. It looks like I recognize all the names.
Seems like it.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, we got a lot of.
Hey, you're regulars.
Okay, so yeah, as I mentioned, today is Friday. Jin will be talking about CAD and oil. So yeah, we have some long-term investors here and short-term traders. So this webinar will be very beneficial to both. As Jin will be going through what could move prices, possible trade ideas, and highlighting potential targets and risk. So just a disclaimer, any information shared during this session is not intended to be a trade recommendation. It is solely the opinion and views of the speaker. So remember to do your own analysis before you enter any trades. Yeah, so I'm Jin Wei. I have known Jin for about 3 years, first as a student, now as a business partner. Jin is the founder of LCMS Traders and Forex Briefcase. So he's a coach at LCMS Traders. And for Forex Briefcase, he trades a 7 million USD account on a daily basis for his managed account clients. He's also an international speaker when he speaks in countries like Hong Kong, UK, US, Australia, Malaysia. So I'll just copy and paste some of his information in the chat in case you guys want to check it out. So yeah, so before I pass the time to Jin, let me run another poll to let us know, where did you guys come from? Yeah, is it like Facebook Live, Telegram, Traders Club, Meetup Group? Yeah, it's always Telegram and Traders Club. Friends chat. I wonder who.
I hope your friend is on as well. If your friend shared, I hope your friend is on as well.
Yeah, as the results are coming in, I'll just pass the time to Jin.
All right. So good to have everyone on. We have regulars. So how's your Friday today? Yesterday was a holiday. We were still on. Markets were, so we were just talking about this before we click record and we started this proper that, signals have been rather amazing. To play it down a little bit, to be a bit more humble, I would say it's been rather amazing, right? To be a bit more braggish, I'll say it's bloody awesome. Because it's also because of how the market has been going. We have also added to the team in terms of firing out the signals. So now we have a signal team, we have the trading team, we have the whole analysis team as well. So, expect to see more signals coming from the Telegram. Expect to see, of course, better signals. It's not just about quantity, it's about quality as well. So one of you guys said there, so we expect to be, we want to try and help you make more money. And the best part is Signals is free. So, it's really there to help you and guide you along. I'm going to do it a little bit different today because we started talking about signals. So, I wanted to share with you more about the signals. I'll jump straight into the LCMS Traders Club first, where, you get your signals in the Telegram channel, but we actually fire out the signals here in LCMS Traders Club on Facebook. So go to Facebook, search LCMS Traders Club. If you're not a member already, click join. If you are a member already, give me a big smile because you know how awesome it has been. So we fire out the signals here first. telling you, buy New Zealand yen. Daniel fires out the signals together with the team. Daniel leads the team there. The price that we buy at, the stop loss, the take profits level 1, 2, and 3. So that's what you get on Telegram to start off. But we get it first in the LCMS Traders Club. In addition to the signals, you also get the analysis. Why are we buying New Zealand yen? The reasons behind it, the economic reasons, the fundamental reasons, followed with the technical reasons behind why we are buying New Zealand yen, with the chart as well. And then also the different reasons why we want to get out at take profit levels 1, whether to hold it at 1 to close and get out, or 2, right? Or take profit level 3. So which levels to get out at and why we're getting out at different levels because of certain triggers. So following the Telegram channel is great. You make some money, but it's really blindly following. If you get onto the group, you learn how to trade in addition to making money using the signals. A lot of other information. Andy is here. He just posted this US dollar risk off at the moment. We might talk about that a little bit more later. We share about news information, a lot of signals analysis coming through here as well. Benny, I think Ty is on the call, posting up his charts, checking his lines, whether it makes sense or not, and we talked about strategies, how to apply them, whether they're applicable in different situations. So, and votings for different situations so that we understand how all the traders we're talking to, what kind of environments they are facing, what kind of support they require. This is the video about the straddle strategy that I was teaching on Monday to everyone in the Traders Club. So if you're not on it, you should be. If you're already on, put it in the comments, put it in the chat. Tell everyone else how awesome it has been. It is $49 a month or $199 a year. At $199 a year is less than $1 a day. So it's well worth. It's well worth your trading, especially if you want to take trading seriously. Join up. It's a no-brainer. Okay, so with that short ad, I'm going to jump into the charts now. So today we're talking about the US CAD, with oil. Okay, so why US CAD and oil? Because US CAD and oil are highly correlated. They're not 100% correlated, but they're highly correlated because Canadians are a big producers of the US oil. So you see that prices with oil does affect the Canadian dollar, although not 100%. So I'll put that disclaimer there first. Okay, so as usual, what I normally would do is I'll look at this on the daily time frame first. What you would probably quickly notice here is that, just jumping to that, is that oil has been very volatile. You see, if you've been following my currency calls for the past several weeks, you would see that I was always very one directionally biased on any currency pair. I would say sit across and move down, or it'd be moving down straight away, or gradual down or gradual up. For the CAD, I have actually been, it could go up, it could go down, it could go up, it could go down, it could go up, it could go down. It's sitting at the 1.40 level, and it's really been struggling at that level, right? It shot up a little bit, it came back down. It shot down a little bit, it came back up. It's really struggling at that point. And I would actually do one of the things right now is we've talked about support resistance, drawing on support resistance on Wednesday, right? We had a coaching call on Wednesday for all the club members. We talked about support resistance. And at this point, I would actually be moving this line here slightly lower. So I would say that it should actually come downwards about there. So I'll adjust my support level there so that I capture that bottom, right? So in this sense, I'm actually looking at that whole point as a support. So you see, I move my lines, just a bit of an educational value there is I move my lines according to how the price has been moving. So I move my line slightly lower to capture this inflection point where it's hit and bounced off, it's hit and bounced off. So I found that, at that point, if it does break through this level, if it does break through this blue area, it probably will go down lower. If it doesn't, it's going to fluctuate in this area and then maybe bounce back up again. So it is at a decision point right now, and there are actually a lot of factors that would play into what could move the US CAD higher or lower. Okay, at this point, the news coming from the oil industries have slowed down a little bit. We have seen a little bit less volatility in oil prices. Things seems to have stabilized a little bit. So we are back. We are back looking at economic news coming from the US. We're back looking at economic news coming from the Canadian economy to lead what could push prices higher or lower at this point. All right, so looking at this, let me zoom in a little bit. I've adjusted my lines. It's sitting at this level right now. Looking at the indicators and the price action, it does show that we could see it come down a little bit. I'm not sure whether it would drop below, it would drop to 450 pips. I don't actually think it would drop 450 pips tonight or today and tonight. So, that might seem to be a bit of an overestimation. However, if it did drop out of this blue area, let's say it went to about that point, with a stop loss of 200 pips to try and make 400, that would be a good potential trade idea, a long-term trade idea that you might consider. Well, actually, it's a very long-term trade idea. 200 pips to 400 pips, stop loss to reward to take profit, right? So that could be a long-term play. For that to happen, we would be looking at a stronger Canadian dollar or stronger Canadian economy and a weaker US economy. So, putting that together, we will switch over shortly to look at what are the news that could drive that. Could it shoot up? Possibly, but that would need to see a stronger US dollar and a weaker Canadian dollar. I don't actually think that that's in the play at the moment. So, I spoke to a few clients yesterday. Those guys have joined up for the one-to-one coaching. And, a problem with a lot of people, a lot of traders face is developing that bias towards understanding how, whether market should be heading down or should be heading up. We talked about that a lot more during the one-to-one coachings. But in this case, I don't actually think that it should be going up because I don't see a stronger US dollar coming around. So my bias towards the US CAD is probably lower, is probably to hit lower on the medium to longer term time frame. If I look at it on the H4, right, let me zoom out. I'm not used to looking at that. So it's probably I do feel that it could bounce around in this area a little bit more before heading down. If it doesn't head down, right? If it does bounce up from this area, what I would best advise is not to do anything, right? So this is why you have a bias. You say, I'm looking at it, I'm saying, hey, US economy is expected to be a bit worse than before. Canadian might be in the balance there. So I do expect the US CAD to be dropping. So with that in mind, if I see the US CAD going up, I'll sit out. So a lot about trading is sitting out. A lot about trading is knowing when not to do anything rather than to jump into trades, into any and every trade that you see and want to jump into, right? So that's something that we will want to pay a bit of attention to. Okay, let me just bring it. I can't figure out how to bring that. Okay, so I'll jump into the news. All right, are you on the Forex Factory with me? Yes. Okay. Good. Thanks, Louis. So on Forex Factory today, we just had some RBA news coming out from Australia, which is why we saw some upward move in the Australian dollar. All right. President Lagarde is speaking at 7 o'clock. I don't think it will move. It's something that will move the market much at this point because they're speaking at the European University Institute. So not going to be a lot of a policy release there. At 8:30 though, at 8:30 we do have US employment data coming out, right? Average hourly earnings was 0.4, expected to be 0.5. So they do expect a slightly increase in the average hourly earnings. I think it was 0.3 before, they just adjusted it to 0.5. So for me, I still think that it might come out at a lower number. Non-farm employment change was minus 701,000, now expected to be 22,000, 22 million, right? So it's going to be expected to be a very bad, very, very bad number. Okay, the problem with a very, very bad number is people expect it to be terrible, right? It's expected to be 22 million, one of the worst numbers that could ever be printed in history. Even the GFC, we didn't see such a number, but that could be priced in. So if it does come out at minus 22 million, or it does come out at minus 21 or 20, it is still a very bad number. But with negativity being such a priced in idea, we could see a lot of volatility in the market as people think that it's not going to be as bad when the number comes out. I still do feel that US dollar is going to be weaker, which if the number comes out at 20 or anything worse than 20 mil, unemployment rate is expected to go from 4.4% to 16%. 16%. That's a big, big population who would be unemployed in the US. So we do see that if it prints anything close to that number or even higher than that number, it's a very big proportion of the labor force that is unemployed. That is going to reflect onto the US GDP, employment numbers, GDP, consumer numbers. It's going to have an effect all the way across the economy. So I do see that it's probably going to be a weaker US dollar, right? In addition to what we see with the US employment numbers, we also have at 8:30 the Canadian employment numbers or unemployment numbers. Canadian unemployment numbers also expected to be 7.8% going to 18%. So very bad numbers as well. From 1 mil to 4, from 1,000, from 1 mil to 4 mil, right? From minus 1 mil to minus 4 mil employment change. So we also expect to see worse numbers coming from the Canadian, right? So because of that, we're going to see worse numbers coming from Canadian, worse numbers coming from the US. But the US economy is still bigger, it's still more impactful compared to every other currency. Hence, I do see it coming down, but this is one of the reasons why I don't think it will be a big drop downwards. Because for that big drop downwards, we need Canadian dollar to be stronger and for the US to be weaker. What we're likely to see is weaker Canadian, weaker US. So it's probably going to drop, but not like a rock in a well, right? It's going to drop slowly and steadily downwards. Make sense so far? All good? Okay, so I do feel that it's quite a straightforward trade, but something that you would have to monitor and wait for the news to come out. Right? I have someone private message me asking me whether we can enter before the news. I would normally suggest not to enter before the news. If you were a gambler and want to take a bit of a higher risk, then put your levels, there, put a stop loss at 200, put a take profit at 200, go for a 1-to-1. Remember to size down. right? So when you are taking a higher risk trade, remember size down, and then you can see what happens there. But I best advise not to do that. Okay, so all good on US CAD. Give me a big thumbs up, Lewis, if you're happy. Lewis is happy, so everyone else is happy too. So we look at oil, WTI USD. We've seen that it's hit that low of 15 before. It's retraced back up, hit about 28. I think the last time we spoke, I said that it's at 20 and possibly could go up. I didn't think it could go to 28, so it just missed a little bit before it's sitting there right now. Based on the price action, we do see that it could come lower, right? It could come lower, but at this point, we do not have any real triggers to push oil significantly lower. So I think that it's going to fluctuate at this point at the 24, 25 level for maybe a little bit of an extended period of time before dropping, before slowly moving lower. Okay. So I just wanted to touch on oil because it's not something that personally I trade actively. It's something that I pay attention to relate it back to the CAD. In addition to oil, what I wanted to do is just do a retouch on gold. Gold, yesterday we spoke that it was at this point, it was at a 1692 level. I said that at that point it's probably going to bounce up, but it had to break above the 1730 level before it probably could rocket upwards. Not like a commercial airliner, but a big straight rocket upwards. So it has bounced off 1692. With tonight's news, if we see a weaker US dollar, we could see more people pushing towards gold, that risk off mentality. So we could see gold getting stronger, breaking above 1730 and possibly towards the 1800 level. Okay, so that's something that I would pay attention to there. At this point, any questions? No questions? You're happy? I've gone quite quickly through CAD and oil. Robbie asked, would the Canadian employment news be high impact? Oh no. Okay, so I talked about CAD. iPhone asks, is the recommended broker apart from what is the recommended broker apart from IC Markets? iPhone, we work with Samtrade quite closely, so I would say use Samtrade. Not only do you, if you join up with Samtrade and you join up with us on our Traders Club, let me get that. You also can jump into the trading competition, right? So with Samtrade FX, what we have is we also have a trading competition with a $2,000 cash prize every month. So top trader wins $2,000 cash prize. So in addition to your profits, you win a cash prize. Fantastic. So iPhone, yeah, do check out Samtrade FX. Anything else? Right, okay, no more. So I was going to talk about something. Okay, so I wanted to jump into, give you a heads up. We talked about all these things that could happen today. Next week, we have some New Zealand news, not super important. On Tuesday, we have a inflation number from the US that's going to be important. New Zealand at 10 a.m. on Wednesday with an interest rate decision. Okay, that's going to be probably going to move the market quite a little bit. So 10 a.m. is going to be interesting. Thursday, employment numbers coming from Australia. Nothing much. And then some retail sales number, which is going to be terrible on Friday for the US. So I think that what's going to happen next week is we're going to see some movements. We're going to see good movements in the market. It's not going to be a lot of consolidation before big jumps. It's going to be steady movements in the market, trending higher or trending lower. So, you know, those will be great trading environments next week. So, you know, I look forward to getting you all on the currency call for next week. All right, if there's no other questions, do you want to take it back?
Yep. So before everybody leave, I'll just launch another poll just to for you guys to let us know how did you guys like this session? Yeah, just launch the poll to give us some feedback so that we know if we need to improve or anything.
I had 100% yesterday, so I'm looking for 100% again today. I need to remain consistent.
Wow. Seems like it's 100%.
Good.
Okay, so by the way, a recording of this video will be uploaded. Yeah, so thank you for joining us today. And do remember to join us on Monday. So yeah, thank you so much.
So I'll jump in again. Andy's on the case. Andy's on the case. Is asking about non-farm payroll live trading. I cannot get away from Andy. Right. So let's have a look at the poll. So I was running a poll, and I know what Andy's gonna say. He's gonna say he voted on my behalf as well. Where is it? Let me find a way to pin the poll. Can someone find it? Here. All right. So Daniel ran a poll on my behalf. We said that if we get more than 30 people who register and attend the session, we will do a live non-farm payroll trading tonight at 8:30. That is where I will trade on Zoom in front of you on Zoom. My live account guiding you through the analysis before the news, during the news, and after the news. Right. So if you want to see me trade and also possibly copy some trades that I'm doing, you know, jump in, vote yes. We are at 27, so there's 24 here, plus another 1, 2, 3. So we're at 27 right now. You're 3 away from watching me trade live the NFP news tonight at 8:30. If we don't get 30, it's not gonna happen. So you have to be a club member to join. So if you're not already, join the club and vote yes. If you are already, make sure you vote yes. So Andy, that's your answer. That's your answer there. We'll see. Can I record it if it's not live? We will. I might think about it. We'll see. All right. So any last questions? If not, thank you all. Enjoy trading non-farm payroll alone if you're not with me on a live call. You know, trade safe, trade well, and have a good weekend. I know I'll have a great weekend because we'll probably be making money tonight. All right, thanks iPhone. I really appreciate the messages you sent to me. Great. Andy, I'll see you at 8:30 maybe. Take care, guys. Bye-bye.